Station of the Stars, RTI.
And welcome to Postcard from Poprad on a gloriously sunny day after it snowed like crazy yesterday. It was amazing. Oops, that shouldn't be in the shot. Never mind, we'll get there in a minute. Stop, don't do that. As you can see in the background, if you're watching on Facebook, the bear is in the studio. He gruffly said to me, "I'm watching you." And I thought, that's a good name for a song. But there you go. Snow outside, loads of it. And the good news is the buses ran, the trains ran, the planes landed, and everybody went to work, and the schools were all open. Which means, yeah, we just don't care about it. But anyway, we've got to go across to the UK now and speak to that lovely chap, Leigh Banks.
Hello, how can I help you?
That's normally the other way round.
Oh, what a show-off! What a show-off!
What?
Yeah, I knew what you meant then. No, I tell you, I have to report on the weather in Britain.
Oh God!
And the reason we're doing this, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody else, and all the readers of ConsumerWatchFoundation.com, because Eric's not been able to find any dead people this week. Nobody's died this week.
Good, that's wonderful. Let's say hello to Robin, to Clive, to Monica, and...
Monica.
Yeah. Hello, Monica.
I think.
Oh, all right then. Okay. Well, you know, just be nice. We should also say hello to Crosswell, who's in Morocco. Does a great programme on here. Paul Clark's joined us already. We've also got Jason, Timothy, Victoria. Sebi's joined us. There's so many of you on all the channels now, I can't keep up. Greetings from Morocco, says Crosswell. Greetings back to you, sir. Mike Bowler has joined us. And time now to speak to Rachel.
Hello.
Hello.
Neighbours died.
What?
Oh.
Neighbours.
Oh.
Oh, Rachel, that's terrible. Tell us all about it.
TV's Gomer Pyle, if anybody remembers that show.
Yeah.
He died today. He was 90 or 89 years old, and he was a very accomplished singer. Nice man.
Oh.
Originally on the Andy Griffith show.
All right.
I know that show.
Yeah. So the character of Gomer Pyle proved so popular, it got itself a spin-off. And I remember that show because I remember it because I was very, very little when it came out. But I remember it very distinctly because I thought, wow, he's a really good singer.
Oh, nice one. Yeah, one of your friends has joined us, Rach, complete with a hat with little bits of string and corks on it.
Oh, that would be Ken.
You're dead right. That's Ken O'Sullivan. Hello, Ken. And just to play with the English words as one does from now and again, Rachel is with child.
Oh.
I am with child.
Yes.
But not in the usual way, you would think. I am. It's like...
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist it. Right, boys and girls, this is where the terrible duo go, oh, my God. Because I've put something on the running order that they haven't got.
Oh?
Yes, I have. And I know that none of the other two can see what's going on Facebook because they can't.
I can't if I have a look.
No, you can't because it'll all go. We'll hear as soon as you do it. It'll go. It'll be screamy and horrible.
Right, I'm on my way.
Right. So anyway, before we do that, we've got to say hello to Roger Bowen, to Brian, and Teresa sends us greetings from Warsaw. Isn't that nice?
That's very nice.
Very nice. Anyway, so we're going to have a little bit of fun. There's no prize. It's just a bit of a giggle. And I want you to tell me, boys and girls, and Leigh and Rach as well, what happened this Sunday 25 years ago. And it's something so powerful that Rachel's done it, Leigh's done it, I've done it, and most of you lot have done it. So what happened 25 years ago on Sunday that I think changed the world?
Google?
No.
I'm just Googling it, you're quite right, yeah.
Don't Google it, that's cheating. And also, what happened in 1982? One of the most amazing albums came out, that's a clue. But it was 1982 that something really big came out.
He'll be ABBA, Rachel, just ignore him, he'll go away eventually.
And although everybody says that France and Britain hate each other,
Very pretty shirt you've got on, dear.
Thank you. In 1990, something happened that joined France and the UK together forever.
A channel?
That's the three questions.
A tunnel! It was a tunnel!
The three questions.
To France and tried to nick it.
We'll give you the answers a bit later on, but what happened on Sunday, 25 years ago, that I think actually changed the world, and Rach, Leigh and I, and everybody else probably, has done it. You've all done it. In 1982, one of the biggest albums of all time came out. What was it? And what connected France and Britain like an embryonic cord?
I just answered that question.
In 1990.
That was world changing. It was the squeezable ketchup bottle.
Squeezable ketchup bottle. We should say hello to...
Dexy's Midnight Runners.
Oh, no. Hello to Steve Melrose and Shirley and Jerry Hogan.
Thriller.
Do you know who Jerry Hogan is?
Never heard of him.
He's a very important person.
Sorry, Jerry.
Yeah, he is.
Like you.
He looks after a fabulous Facebook group called, was it the Radio Group? And he only lets real people go on it. And it's really well managed. There's never any spam on it. You never get any idiots on it. And Jerry looks after it.
And don't let me on it.
No.
Hello, Jerry.
Yeah. See, Rachel's creeping, Jerry. She understands.
Yeah, creeping, Jerry. I'm not creeping.
Hello to...
Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Might be.
And it was the year of Thingy Tunnel.
Might be.
And I don't know the other one. I forgot the other one.
Ah, okay. Anyway.
Squeezable ketchup bottle.
Squeezy ketchup bottle. Yeah, that's it. We've answered everything. You're no good.
You haven't answered all of them. You have 2 out of 3.
What was the third one?
I'm not. You should. You had to listen. I can't. If I give you the question, you'll know which 2 you've got right. Because I'll have told you the one that you got wrong. Right. So I'm not going to do that. Hi to Tony Francis, to Si Stanhope. Brian Hyde from Bedfordshire. Joe Meadows is also in Bedfordshire, I think, as well, if I remember rightly. So anyway, we'll get started with a bit of news. Snow and ice has hit parts of the UK, forcing dozens of schools to shut and causing...
It's a load of rubbish.
Causing disruption for drivers.
Here's the truth.
What?
Here's the truth. There's nothing on the consumerwatchfoundation.com yet, but it will say Britain woke to slightly warmer temperatures today with 9 degrees possible this afternoon. The cold spell is almost on its way out.
Yeah, right. Well, apparently, boys and girls, seriously, 19 schools around Aberdeen were closed. A dozen more were shut up in North Yorkshire. And the temperature got to -6 in Penshaw in Worcestershire, which is rubbish. Sty says, hi, everybody. Hello, Sty. Nice one. Joe says, hi, all. Hi, all. Joe. Hi. Dave Bradshaw, as opposed to the other one, says, morning.
Morning.
But it's
morning, dear.
But it's not morning here.
Not morning here either.
No.
I will be in a minute. Hang on, wait. Will be.
Yeah, right, absolutely. But anyway, there was this whole thing that went on, and I laughed. Oh, Jude's there from Australia. Hello, Jude.
Hello, Jude.
Australia's taking over.
Talk about you.
Jude.
Hey.
They're taking over, aren't they? The Australians.
What, the Judes?
Yeah.
Of course.
Judes.
Hey,
Jude.
Hey, Jude. Don't make it bad. Anyway, have you seen the bear in the background? I have to keep behaving because of him.
I'll keep looking for this bear in the back. You haven't got... Oh, there is. There's a big teddy bear.
Yeah. It's Teddy.
You.
It's Tedi. Teddy. He's got his own page now on Facebook. Yeah.
Has he?
Yeah.
That's great.
Excuse me, Mr. Wiltshire.
Yes.
Why is Teddy wearing the same shirt as you?
He's not.
He is.
Your eyesight is bad.
My eyesight is perfect.
No.
I have my glasses on.
He's wearing an RTI T-shirt. And
I'm very smart it is too, may I say.
Yes, and I'm not wearing an RTI T-shirt.
I know you're wearing a lovely puce-coloured short sleeve thing, which is very infra-dig for winter. In fact, I was told off by the fashion police for wearing short sleeves in winter.
Oh, I got that this morning. Where's your winter coat? Right. Anyway, Victoria is bracing itself for extreme weather as well. Rach, what's going on?
Well, I don't know. I think this might be just fake news, quietly, because sitting here in the middle of Victoria, we had about 3 drops of rain today, and I thought, well, what's all this about? After living in Darwin, I don't believe in people down here saying, wow, there's a lot of rain, because up there is a lot of rain, and it rains so hard even when you put your wipers on really, really fast and you're doing 20 kilometres an hour, you still can't see and you still fear for your life.
Oh.
But down here, it got a little bit wet, and I think the storms that they're predicting is actually going to turn up a little bit later. I think they're going to turn up tonight, but they don't have the infrastructure for rain in Victoria. They don't have the infrastructure in the city for rain. If it rains just a little tiny bit, everything floods.
Oh.
So I think we need to build bigger ditches and stuff. I don't know, but yeah. I don't know. I don't, it's all sort of come to a bit of nothing.
Really? Well, that's good then. So the UK bits come to nothing. The Australian bits come to nothing. And we've had lots of snow here, absolutely bucketing it down. As you will see for those that have looked on my Facebook profile, we showed everything. And there's no weather warnings here at all. Everything's running normally. The planes, trains and cars and buses are all running, and nobody cares.
Let me just fill you in.
What?
Here in the UK, this is the latest breaking news on weather. Plymouth, which is in Essex, has temperatures
What?
of
Whoa. Plymouth is not in Essex.
Of course it is. Cardiff in Scotland has 6. Glasgow in Wales, 6. Newcastle in Germany is 4. Manchester, which is the centre of the universe, is 5. That's how bad the temperatures are over here. Fake news!
Penny says hello, as does Mike Smith. Joe says, that T-shirt on Teddy's a bit tight. But he then adds, my size is XL, hint, hint.
Oh, okay.
And Duke has joined us as well.
He wants to know what diet to go on.
Absolutely. There was a bit of a kerfuffle this week on Facebook when an advert went up, and the bottom of this advert said, this internship at the BBC is open to candidates from a black, Asian or non-white ethnic minority background.
Yeah.
That would count me out. Oh, hello, AJ.
It'd count me out as well. It'd count you out as well, Rach, wouldn't it? Although you are in a minority.
I am, because I'm, awesome.
Ah, right.
Yeah, exactly. And you're in Australia.
This is true. And AJ's in Australia as well. Yeah. AJ, say hello to AJ, Rach.
AJ's there, yay.
Yes.
Hello, AJ.
So anyway, I thought, being me, that I would ask the BBC what it was all about. Because I'm thinking, that's racist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it is in a way, isn't it?
So
reverse almost,
So, here I go. I couldn't be bothered to find the email address, so I went onto the press office website, used their little form, and I got a response. Hi, Eric. Is this a journalist inquiry for one of your radio programmes? Now, you have to remember what he just wrote. Thanks, Matt. Yeah. Right. So, that's what's happened. And what I said to him, can you confirm the above is fit for purpose with the advertised position? To which he replies, hello, Eric. Hi, Eric. He replies later, but RTI is not one I've come across before, and I'm struggling.
Never heard of us, cheeky monkey.
I'm struggling to find a comprehensive about us section online. Hello? Do you not know what Google is, Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he doesn't know what RTI is, he probably doesn't know what Google is.
Probably. So anyway, I then send him a link over, which is an officialdom link, to which he sort of goes, thanks for that. Yeah, you numpty. So
he's a nice man. He's polite.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Can I tell you what I think? He thinks there is a man asking a difficult question. I'll try and find a way of getting out of it so I don't have to answer him.
I think you're probably right. Could I also point out that in this ad, the BBC should hang their heads in shame? I have never known anything so inarticulate and badly spelt. What is the BBC doing? The whole of the world is denigrating the whole of languages in countries by short forms and LOLs and all sorts of bad form of language. And now the BBC is perpetuating it.
Right. So anyway,
Beth's giggling at you.
Matt's
Beth's sitting there snickering away at you, Uncle Leigh.
Good. Anyway, young Matt then says, here's a statement attributable to a BBC spokesperson. Right. So here is the statement. The scheme is organised by Creative Access, an independent organisation dedicated to increasing diversity in the creative industries, whose other partners include ITV, United Agents, Faber & Faber and John Murray. This is not a job, but simply a training and development opportunity. The
laws don't apply then?
This training scheme is designed as a positive action scheme to address an identified underrepresentation of people from ethnic minority backgrounds in certain roles. Such schemes are allowed under the Equality Act, and we're proud to be taking part.
Lovely.
I cannot believe one solitary word of that.
It's a very, very... And I think this is shameful. There's nothing wrong in wanting to take on people of an ethnic background, whatever that means. What does that mean? It means you were born somewhere. It means that you actually walk around. You are a human being. But there's nothing wrong. But to actually put it in those terms, to spell everything badly and then come up with a load of... that word that begins with B and ends with X, like this, is disgusting.
But surely, I mean, am I missing the point here?
Probably.
Surely, the whole point is, if you're good at something,
yes,
then you should apply. It doesn't matter what colour you are. It doesn't matter what your ethnicity is. It doesn't matter if you're pink, purple, or black with white spots.
But it matters if you can spell.
Well, there is that to it.
Get in on your merits. I mean, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't buy... You see, the problem... Where I don't buy this... And this is where it gets me a bit confused. Perhaps it's just me. Hello, Brian, and hello... Oh, my old mate Leigh Williams has joined us. Hello, Leigh.
Hello.
Does a great country show, that guy. Really great. The problem is... If you have an ethnic minority, the key word is minority, which means there's going to be less of you doing a certain job.
Yeah.
Because there's a smaller community.
Yeah.
So how can you redress the balance of people in certain roles when there's not enough people there in the first place?
And... don't ethnic minorities usually come from the largest proportion of ethnicity in the world?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. I won't say who's actually written this because I think maybe it's not a good idea to do that, but I'll read the comment out. This is not the first time they have advertised like this. I have seen them before. Perfect job. Oh, hang on. I can't apply.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's a funny thing.
Well, it's like another argument I've been having on Facebook this week, and I'm not going to go there, Rach. So don't have a go at me, all right? Red, okay. It's about
he's been wiring his studio, Rach. He has.
No, it's about universities. So I was having this argument.
Can I just before you do? Can I just ask one simple question of you?
Yeah.
Is it legal to advertise for a man or a woman?
No.
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 Exactly.
No.
Exactly. Thank you. I rest my case and I will now be quiet.
Thank you. I've got to say hello to Mal Tip, who's just joined us. Great. He used to do some great TV with me many years ago. He's so funny on the telly. It was hysterical. And the Dave and Mal show was something to be seen. I think there are still clips of it around on YouTube. Mike Roberts has joined us as well. Thank you, Mike. But it really is. It's this crazy scenario. And this girl was obviously very Rachalised, because she was saying, you can't get a proper job without a university degree. So I wrote back to her and said, how do you know? For a big part of my life, I've been privileged, and I do call it privileged to employ people. And there's only one time, and it's really only one time, that I have terminated an interview before I should have done. Just once. I mean, I've had a person come to the office who said, not that I smoked in the office, but he said, I can smell smoke on your clothes. So when I join the company, you'll stop smoking, won't you?
Why?
And I went, huh?
But it is actually illegal to smoke in a workplace.
It is in the UK, yes.
Is it not in Slovakia? I don't suppose it is.
No.
No, carry on then. Dear.
So
carry on.
Anyway, I then said, I've never employed people because they've got a degree. The only time I've terminated a degree is when I said to somebody, can you show me how to do this? It's the job that we want you to do. And his remarks were, I've got a university degree, you know, so you don't need me to show you. And I said, see ya. Bye.
That's university. That's about that person being a total pill.
Yes, I quite agree. Dwayne's going back in time. Says, hi, Eric, my satellite man. Ooh.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's old. So anyway, I think the BBC are wrong. And if ITV are in there and United Agents and everybody else, I think you're all wrong. People should get training and coaching and jobs and internships based on merit. Not what colour you are, not your creed, not what your family's done. It's about the person. The inside the human being, everyone's the same.
Yeah, well, pink and goo.
Yeah. We're all a big puddle of water.
Well, some of us are a bit wet.
We are.
Some of us more of a puddle than others.
This is true. We're going back to Australia now because some great news actually from Australia and big round of applause to the services in Australia because they've arrested a man who was allegedly planning to carry out a terror attack during New Year's Eve celebrations in Melbourne. Dave Conway's there. I love it, Bedfordshire speak. What does he say? Watcha, Eric. Watcha, Dave. And good old Paul Brown is with us as well. So a bit of Australian news from Rachel now.
Yeah, this was great. The AFP, otherwise known as the Australian Federal Police and Victoria Police, thwarted this fellow. He was a 20-year-old who lived out at one of the outer suburbs, Werribee, and he'd been a person of interest for a while, but they thwarted an attack. He was going to lone wolf. He was trying to get guns, and he was going to lone wolf at Federation Square, which is right in the middle of the CBD, and it's where everybody congregates on occasions such as New Year's Eve and so forth. So it's a really great place to hurt a lot of people really quickly if you want to. But they tracked this. They'd been tracking this fella for a while. The police were very, very adamant that he had not purchased any weapons, and he'd been sitting in forums online saying that he'd been offered $200 a tip from our Secret Service people, ASIO, and which was untrue, of course. And he was trying to sort of big note himself in these forums, and they picked him up and they put him in jail. So. Ray.
Good. I think that's a round of applause for the Australian Federal Police.
I think the round of applause should actually come when he's actually convicted of anything. Even the police say it's only alleged.
Well, they have to.
But they've got stacks of evidence. They raided him. They've got all his computers. They have to say alleged because Uncle Leigh, we have to say alleged.
Well, no, the police don't actually have to say alleged. The police can say what they want. I think a show like this has to say alleged rather than celebrate the fact that somebody's not been convicted yet.
Right.
That's true. But it would have been it could have been a big disaster, and now it turns out that it's not going to be a disaster, and he'll have to stay in court.
Well, look, Leigh. Okay, let's put it another way. If it is he was going to do it, and that's allegedly at the moment, because he's now on the radar of police and will be watched in every movement that he does, the chances of him getting away with doing something really despicable on New Year's Eve is about -1 million.
Absolutely, nobody's saying that. All I'm saying is, the simple legal facts of life is that he's not been convicted of anything.
I'm not knocking that. Not knocking that at all. But I do think when people are put on the radar like this, the chances of them getting away with something in the future is very minimal. So it's a nice safety valve.
It is, but I agree. I'm not condemning. I was just pointing out legally we can't say what we're saying. The man has done nothing as far as the law is concerned. He's been investigated and what he's done is alleged.
Excuse me, Mr. You've been talking to the bear.
Been talking to the what?
The bear.
The bear?
Yeah, the bear said before I started the show, he said, behave yourself, Wiltsher. And now, I'm thinking, he's doing that. And what did I say at the beginning of the piece? Allegedly.
Yeah, but then we went on to celebrate him being caught. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter.
Dave wants to know, have I just turned into the new W1A spin-off show? I think so, Dave. Yes, I totally agree. And we've got to say hello to Jules Metcalf, who's just joined us as well. And looking forward to seeing Brian back here next year in Slovakia. Staying in Australia, and I only found out about this particular piece of new legislation because of it's the Retro Rock Show, which comes from Australia. Absolutely fabulous show. And they were debating this morning, and it's a very unusual piece of legislation to come out in Australia. And so we'll hand back to Rachel.
This is not alleged. This is but I don't want to get in any more trouble. Victoria became the first state in the country to legalise assisted dying. So you can choose, if you're sick, how you would like to end your life. If you want to end it rather than sitting in a bed dying, you can do it with dignity. And it was a really interesting process. It took a really long time. They've been campaigning for this for a long time, but the actual legislating took ages, and they had marathons in Parliament, and there were sleeping bags in the House, and there were pillows in the House, and there was food being brought in. And in the end, a lot of people said, I can't debate this anymore because I've been up for 18 hours and I'm not, my judgment is really poor, so let's have a sleep and then wake up and then start again. And this went on for days and days and days and days and days until they passed the legislation, which is great. And it's a really, really controversial subject, but most of the people in Parliament agreed that some sort of assisted dying should be allowed, and it's going to have a lot of checks and balances, and there's going to be ways to block people abusing that system, and it's going to be done under doctors' supervision, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it's good news if you believe in this sort of thing. It's good news for your loved ones or yourself if you don't want to live in a state anymore, and it's bad news if you believe that life should take its natural course.
Yeah. But one thing I was interested about, because in some ways, and I don't mean this with that person in America, some ways Australia is similar to the US in that you've got your own states and they've got states and yada, yada, yada. So if somebody in an adjacent state went over to Victoria, would they be allowed to have assisted dying?
I don't know. And I think that's covered in the legislation, but I think at this point it's unclear. Mm-hmm. I think you have to have been a resident under the care of a licensed doctor in this state for X amount of time before that can be the case. So you can't, it's not like going to Mexico and getting your plastic surgery done and then hopping back over the border.
Right.
It's going to be as simple as that. But hopefully it sets a precedent so that others can move forward in other states. So I hope that it does. I mean, I'm for it. Personally, I'm for it. So I think people should have that choice if they want it. Mm-hmm. But I think it should be allowed for everybody. So I'm hoping it goes national.
Okay. Well, we'll do a couple of messages before we go to the break. Hello to Paul Stubberfield and Tracy Kingdon. Tracy says, can I have the teddy, please? No, Teddy.
I can't wait to get there and see this teddy. I have no frame of reference. I can't see you. I don't know what everyone's talking about. So I want to get my hands on the teddy.
I'm guessing he's over a metre tall.
Oh, 3 feet.
and he weighs more than 10 kilos.
He's one of those Costco teddies.
No, he's very, very old, but has been looked after. And you know the German Stief bears, which have that sort of crinkly sound when you cuddle them?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like that.
Has he got a thing in his ear?
No, he's got a thing round his neck, I think. But I didn't worry about it.
Snipes need to have a button in their ear.
Ah, okay. Well, he's enormous, his Teddy, and you can see him on Facebook. He's got his own page now. So I'm sorry, Tracy. No, you can't have the Teddy. Hello to Noreen and Del and David, and Dwayne says, Tracy, I'll give you my Teddy. It's bigger. Lol. Needs a new home. There you go, Tracy. We fixed it for you. Done. You can have the new Teddy from Dwayne because it needs a new home. So you two hook up, and there you go. Oh God, here we go. We've got the joke. The Duke says, "I'm so proud of myself. I spent all night putting my Christmas decorations myself. I put them up myself. I'm now in the hospital having them removed."
The Duke actually writes for the Consumer Watch Foundation now.
He does, actually. Dean Butler, Anthony Perkins, Robert Ingle, Dorothy Banks, no less. Now you're in
Who
trouble.
writes for the Consumer Watch Foundation, actually.
And Christine, my old friend Christine Fossey's here as well. Thank you for your company, one and all. We'll be back fasting. You can make a cup of tea, drink a milkshake, or even have a hobnob with your coffee.
From the heart of Europe to the world, this is RTI.
This is an appeal that I simply wish I didn't have to make. In this day and age, how is it possible that 1,400 children will die today from dirty water? That children like Elodie have to drink dirty water from rivers and swamps, risking their lives. Right now, you can help save a child's life. Text the word water to 70080 to give WaterAid £3. WaterAid has the expertise to install pipes, pumps and taps that will bring clean water to children at risk. They just need your support. In the next minute, dirty water will kill another child like Elodie. So please, don't wait to save a child's life. Text WATER to 70080 now to give WaterAid £3. Thank you.
If your dream holiday is 2 hours from the UK, perfect for children and teenagers, young couples and the older visitor, ideal for the physically active and for those who just want to unwind, Aqua City is the destination for you. Described by the Travel Channel as the place that will soon be on everybody's lips, be ahead of the crowd and the envy of your friends, but still enjoy a home from home. Come to Aqua City Poprad, the world's leading green resort.
From the heart of Europe to the world, RTI.
Welcome back to Postcard from Poprad, with a little pause, as I'm looking at some other people to say hello to. Hello to John and to Paige. That's a lovely name. I like Paige. Nazir is there, as is Kiri and Paul and Georgina. Hello to all. Welcome back to Postcard from Poprad with me, Eric Wiltsher, Leigh Banks, and the lovely Rachel Brunsden. As we kind of move on a little bit to where we're going, funnily enough. Does that make sense to anybody?
No.
Sure.
Not at all.
Not at all?
It doesn't make a word of sense. Yeah.
Well, that's what I figured. So I thought, well, okay.
Well, you succeeded.
I've succeeded. I have I don't know why, and I don't know where it comes from, and it's not me being clever or smart or anything else. It really isn't. It's just something I believe in at Christmas. No, I do, and it's going to
word Christmas.
It's going to be a little bit eggy, but no worries. Wherever I've had the opportunity on Christmas morning, I've always broadcast live. We did it. Leigh and I did it last week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I just think it's the right thing to do, which leads me perfectly into the next story. Nearly 1 million older people say they will feel lonelier at Christmas time, according to new research from Age UK. And I've got to say, I kind of get that. I do. I understand. Because the UK...
Not everybody has a family.
Go on, Rach. Say again.
Not everybody has a family. Not everybody has somebody even geographically near them.
No.
I mean, I used to live in Sydney all by myself, and sometimes I couldn't get home to Adelaide for Christmas, and I'd spend Christmas by myself. Although, I've got to tell you, I actually really like spending Christmas by myself.
Yeah.
I'm not but, you know, a lot of people don't have family.
It's just because you want to nick all the mince pies for yourself.
Well, there's that, and also I just buy myself a present and go, good on you, Rach.
Isn't it fair to say, though, that the way you could end this problem and all other problems, like people running out of money, people having not having family friends, people not liking the press, let's just ban Christmas. Christmas is all about money, and it makes people feel bad, it makes people panic. This isn't what Christmas is about.
I think I'm going to... Isn't it? Let me throw something into the mix, which I think will work for Australia and will work for the UK, and is completely the opposite in Slovakia. Completely the opposite. And what I'm going to throw into the mix is this. Because of the nature of the countries, so a lot of it's to do with wealth, a lot of it's to do with wanting to better yourself and having the ability to do that, which Slovakia didn't have until 25 years ago. It's meant that the families are actually spread all over the countries. So you're not in the normal situation which so many people are in Slovakia, where your family is at worst 10 minutes away from you. So you can't have that family Christmas thing because it's gone. It used to be there when we were kids, but now it's gone.
It's true.
Yeah, the whole thing about Christmas has gone. Christmas is no longer Christmas. Christmas is about selling sofas. It's about selling crappy toys. It's about making people spend money they haven't got. It's about advertising. It's about mammon. It's about everything that Christmas isn't about.
Okay, yeah, I get it.
Funny, Christmas for me is this year is going to be hilarious because I'm going to be in the UK, so that's going to be an experience. But I don't have to do any of the cooking. I don't have to do any of that stuff,
you have to be careful, Rach. Rach, I've got to teach you a sentence.
Oh, what's that?
They're behind you.
You just turned this show into a pantomime.
Oh, very good! Yay! He was awake.
Christmas Eve for me is. I love Christmas Eve. For some reason, I feel really grateful and cheerful and warm and fuzzy. Christmas Day I can do without, but Christmas Eve I really love.
I shall avoid going to my Christmas Eve recipes for cooking. We'll do that later. But just to let you know, on Christmas Day a la the UK, which is different to Slovakia, because Slovakia is the day before. So on the Christmas Day a la the UK, RTI will be live. And if you want to be part of the RTI family rather than sitting on your own, you'll be very welcome. I'm sure Leigh will join me as he did last year to have a bit of fun. And we're also going to broadcast it, unusually, on Facebook as well. So wherever you are, if you're on your own, you don't have to be. You can be part of our family, and that's coming up in Christmas. Sally says, hello from sunny, chilly Hitchin. Hitchin's a great place.
Hitchin's a nice place. I've been there.
It's really good. That's where I was born.
Were you born in Hitchin?
Yes.
I thought you were born in that little village. Oh, it is a little village. I've got the wrong place. I know where we are now.
Hitchin is a town. I lived in Shillington, therefore I was taken to Hitchin to be born.
I understand. I was thinking of Chillington. I've got the wrong place. I'm so sorry.
You don't forget. Joe says, free RTI T-shirts. Thanks, Eric. Joe, how long have you known me? When do I give anything away for free?
Yeah, when?
Yes.
And also, he's making it sound like all our T-shirts are in prison. Free RTI T-shirts.
Free Nelson Mandela. Yes. Hello to Paul and David. Also, hello to George, who's just joined us on You Now as well, watching the Teddy. Marvellous. This is not a political thing, boys and girls. This is my condemnation joined up as well. Theresa May has launched her first direct condemnation of Donald Trump, saying she's very clear that retweeting from Britain First was the wrong thing to do. And I totally and utterly applaud her for saying that. Because someone had to.
It was a stupid move, really. I mean, and it was so indecent. It was just a vile thing for anybody to retweet something like that. But for the President of the United States, please, sir, pull your head in.
Yes.
And also, isn't it absolutely indicative of his attitude towards the truth, where he condemns the world press and the world media for fake news? Does this man not turn round and perpetuate fake news with every breath he breathes?
Yes.
I thought you were going to say every breath he takes.
I know, I turned it into breathes because I couldn't say my thirds at that moment.
Right, okay. Now, Mr. Trump, can I just say...
You've got to call him president. He's a president.
He's no better than me.
He's president of the United... He's the most powerful man in the world.
Do you know when I see our president here, how do I address him?
Sorry, I forgot your name.
No. I call him by his Christian name. He calls me by my Christian name. Therefore, I'll have the same ratios here. Donald.
This is not a trump card, Donald.
No, it is definitely not a trump card you played. You have annoyed, I nearly said the P word, annoyed so many people around the world. And it is true to say, some areas people are going, we're not going to buy American products now because of Donald.
Well, that's a good point.
It's a
process.
Yes.
It's a process, so that's okay. Yeah.
And it seems to me that this week, if you're on the extremes of politics, they're all going balmy. Now, this week, Morgan Stanley, which is a bank, big investment bank, they said, we think if a certain politician gets into power, it'll be worse than Brexit happening for the UK.
Yeah.
Now, this is how you should handle it, Mr. Corbyn. You should ignore it.
Why?
You shouldn't do what you've done, Mr. Corbyn.
What?
He's only put a new video out.
Yeah.
And called Morgan Stanley the same speculators and gamblers who crashed our economy in 2008.
Might he not be right?
Might he be very wrong?
Why?
Because it was the American part first that brought the whole cascade of cards down.
Well, that's it. But what he's actually saying is that and also you have to remember that Morgan Stanley is an American bank.
Yeah. And
also the fact is it was the banking institutions which caused the problem. I think I have no leanings towards Jeremy Corbyn. I think he's a duffel coat wearing knob. But in this case, what he said, it wasn't really worth saying. He's tried to open up a political debate on something, and he's referred to something that really isn't that relevant to the accusations that were made against him.
Thank you.
The man's a knob.
You're right. So all he's done... You're absolutely right. All he's done is opened a wound up that was sewn up. He's now made himself look silly in front of everybody else.
Absolutely.
And then he's going, we know that they contribute to the Tory party. And what are you jealous? For goodness sake, Mr. Corbyn, wake up and smell the coffee. This is 2017, Mr. Corbyn, not 1977.
Yeah.
That's the key. Remember,
That's when you bought your duffel coat, wasn't it, Mr. Corbyn? 1977.
No. I wonder if it's got a hood.
No, it's one of the posh ones. I think it has a detachable hood. So if he goes out, he doesn't want to be recognised. Because nobody recognises him anyway. He just looks like a little old bloke with a beard.
Those horrible wooden buttons. You know, those stupid long wooden buttons.
He has them.
He doesn't, does he? Oh, heck.
Oh,
I was going to say, if he's got a hood as well, he'd be an anorak, wouldn't he?
He'd be a hoodie.
Hoodie anorak. Yes. Anyway, boys and girls, please put in your earplugs. I implore you. Please put in your earplugs, really do, because he's going to go off in a rant now.
I'd probably not.
Oh. Rach?
Yeah, what do we do now?
I don't know. Rach, what do we do?
Just forge ahead and we'll see what happens.
Okay. Thank you, Rach. Shares in the Daily Mail publisher DMGT have sunk by 23%, which is a big drop, to hit a 5-year low after it warned of a tough year ahead. And it is tough for newspapers. I mean, we know that because they're having to go, as Leigh quite rightly says, newspapers are having to go from bits of paper to online. And it's going to be a long transition period. Some will not make it. Some will make it. It's the nature of change.
That's right.
Yeah. And because they are going through this transition period, there are people already writing off DMGT, and I don't understand.
Well, can I have a rant about that? Because what you've just said is absolutely 100% right.
Oh,
and, the whole of the industry has been
no.
going through...
Hang on, I've got to get my pen out.
Yeah, write it down. Make it...
It's the 1st of December, 2017. Yeah, right. Leigh said, I am right about newspapers. Full stop.
100% right.
Oh, 100%, sorry, 100% right.
100% right, full marks. Absolutely top hole, chap.
Whack.
Enjoy it, because it won't happen again.
No, that's true. I'm in a state of panic.
Newspapers have been going... See, you've got to go back to the history of newspapers. What we're talking about is the very... It goes back to Caxton. Newspapers are made out of paper and ink. And that goes back hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years.
And hundreds of years.
And hundreds. That was a way of communicating with the world. We used to send letters which were made out of papers and ink. And that's changed. We now send emails. The newspaper industry has been condemned for 50, 60 years over its inability to carry on. And guess what's happened? Newspapers have continued. The newspaper industry is a multi-billion pound worldwide industry. It is absolutely gigantic. And despite what naysayers like Donald the Trump say, it isn't there to perpetuate false news. The President of the United States is there to perpetuate false news, not newspapers. And the newspaper industry still does what it is intended to do. It entertains, it aggravates, it inspires, it gives good things, and it's keeping up. Finally, it is keeping up with the future.
I can read a newspaper online. It just seems all wrong and unnatural. I can only read a newspaper when I'm holding it in my hand.
You're quite right, Rachel, yeah. But newspapers will continue to do that as well. There will always be terrestrial versions of newspapers, but there will be more magazine-y, that's all.
Good. You need newspapers in your life to wrap up your stuff when you move house.
And your fish and chips.
What happens if the fish and chip industry would close if we
don't start me on that. I just realised.
What, fish and chips?
The EU have said we can't have brown chips anymore.
What?
You can't have brown chips anywhere. They're not good for you.
They're 50 quid, aren't they?
You have to have these sort of softy, whitey, creamy coloured chips. And you can't have crispy bread anymore.
Crispy. What about crispy crisps? You're not allowed
No, you can't have brown crispy crisps anymore. They've got to be pale.
Pale, yes.
Because it's not good for your health. And can I tell you what, Mr. EU? No one's going to take any notice of you.
Because we all do it behind closed doors.
Yes. All you're going to do is put a load of restaurant places out of business because we'll have proper chips at home.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh dear. Anyway,
remember Prohibition? That didn't take either. They should be really careful going up.
He didn't ban chips in the Prohibition. That was drinking stuff.
That's what I meant.
Hello, Stephen Clark. I think that's Rod Lucas. He's there. He's hiding. He's hiding there.
Rod.
Yeah, Lucas. My buddy Lucas. Yeah, right. That's Rod. And Mike Darby. Hello, Mike. Good radio person. Back to the print thing for a minute. I actually think that some of the people writing about newspapers, the journalists in other newspapers, are themselves Luddites.
Oh, no, it's called dog eat dog.
They're Luddites. They're Luddites because if they analyse the reality of all this, The reality is that digital advertising grew by 18% last year in the Mail, and print advertising fell by 5%. Now, that makes a lot of sense. The only people that won't get it are Luddites in other papers.
No, that's just wrong. That's wrong. You see, this is the thing, and this is where I really believe newspapers have let themselves down and really need to readdress their public image. Newspapers and newspaper writers are not Luddites. What they are is there to cause a reaction. That's what it is. And dog eat dog has always been the maxim within the newspaper
industry. We've got to get on because we haven't got much time left. The Royal Bank of Scotland is to close 259 branches with a loss of 850 jobs. And this is the bank that is backed by the state in the UK. And I've got to say, do you know who I blame for this?
Who?
People who shop online.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. You think about it.
Okay.
You think about it. When people walked around with money, you needed a bank. Because you had to go to the bank or you went to the cash machine or something. Now everybody's doing all their banking online. They're doing their buying online. You don't need people. And there'll become a day where there'll just be a handful of people in a call centre taking your calls from this, that and the other bank, and you'll just become a number. And it's your fault.
It isn't. That's totally spurious. That's a Donald Trump statement.
It so is.
The reason banks are closing is because they destroyed the economy of the world and nobody trusts them. And why would you put your money in a bank? What is it? The interest rates have gone up and nobody's handed it on to the public. No bank, or very few, have handed it on to the public. Banks are a despicable organisation and industry that are there to rip people off. And people have decided to spend the money on things that ultimately, eventually, they can sell at a profit. Mm-hmm. We have become a nation of entrepreneurs and we do not need banks.
Our federal government just announced that there'll be a royal commission into the big banks here, and I look forward to that. Just to get them in check, because banks are terrible.
Okay, where was I? I was reading something, sorry. Miranda says about banking, the world is changing. And you're quite right, Miranda. And hi to Katie, who's... Katie, I'm going to get this wrong, I know I am. Parabek? I think it's Katie Parabek. If I've got it wrong, Katie, tell me off. You're very welcome. We know that...
I can tell him off for you if you want.
Well, this is true. We know that... Kim Jong-un fella in North Korea is completely barking mad. But at last, the United States has warned him properly. And I just pray that more people get out, because there's another story this week of people being rescued in boats as they were like going out at night time and ended up in other countries as far away as Japan, getting out of North Korea. And the fact is, if he starts any more of this, and if one of these rockets... and don't forget, rockets can go wacky. They can go AWOL. They can do their own things. And Kim Jong-un hasn't got the flying power to shoot them down. If one of them lands on a territory, not just the US territories, but other territories, the US will go in there and they will destroy North Korea. They will absolutely destroy it. And Kim Jong-un... you're actually putting your own people in a terrible position of danger.
Isn't that what happens, though, when people saber rattle over nuclear war?
Yeah.
Isn't that exactly what the situation has to be? And surely Mr. Trumpington, President Trump, is actually as bad as Kim Jong-un.
Could be.
I agree with you.
Could be.
It's been out over Twitter. It's been ridiculous. They've been behaving like complete imbeciles. And they're playing with people's lives. This is so dangerous.
I quite agree. We're going to have to rush through a couple of news items, boys and girls, which are quite important. Apparently there's a new drug that can halve the duration of migraines, which I think...
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm so pleased to hear that news as a sufferer.
Yeah, and the lead person behind it was Peter Goadsby from King's College Hospital in London. Thank you very much indeed, sir, and your team. You're a wonderful man. major controversy with Angela Lansbury this week, the Hollywood actress, who's actually said, you can't blame the blokes for everything. Some of it could have been down to the girls.
Right.
Point.
And bad news for Mr. Banks and his friends.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh,
The legend
I'm not a Yeti.
The legend of the Yeti is blown away. It's gone.
No, it's not.
The bottom line is they've checked some of the Yeti so-called bits in the US to find out they're from bears and dogs and other such things and stuff.
Have you guys ever seen Robbie in a blizzard?
Yeah, that'd be about right. I'm trying to squeeze some more people in, but I ain't going to have time. Noel Gallagher, I can't even read this out.
No.
He says about Mr. Corbyn this week, Mr. Corbyn should not feel singled out. However, because the former Oasis star has expressed distaste for the politician in general, describing him as, I'm doing this carefully, an effing idiot, full of excrement, etc., etc., there's obviously a spat between Noel Gallagher and Mr. Corbyn for some reason. I don't know what it is.
He's fighting everybody.
Yeah, that's true. As we predicted on this programme many times, the first decline in bitcoins, which are complete junk, they dropped 20% in value in just 24 hours this week. And that is terrible. It really is.
Have we seen that happen to the regular form of currency within this world on numerous occasions?
Not in 24 hours in that way.
I'd beg to differ.
Could have been. Anyway, Apple says it's trying to fix a major glitch within its new operating system, which I think they've probably done by now. And in the UK, people were panicking. There was 2 meteors that fell in the south of England, and people were going, "Oh my God, there's an alien coming." Yeah, right.
The end of the world.
It is. And I've got to say congrats to the Australian government. They've made a pitch to host Prince Harry's stag party and honeymoon in the continent. And I thought that was really wonderful of them. And I'm really pleased, actually, that Prince Harry and Meghan went to the Terence Higgins Trust in Nottingham as their first official visit this week. Absolutely brilliant. Well done, guys. It's just time for us to, find out what Rachel's doing this weekend.
I'll be here in my home taking care of my daughter.
Oh,
yeah. Well, yeah.
Oh, that's really good.
All the best. All the best.
You better say hello to Pat Leigh.
Hello, Pat.
It's Leigh's friend, Pat McManus. He's there. Hi to Hanka, who's in Bratislava. To Vanessa, who's also with us. I haven't had a chance to say hello to everybody because I'm really sorry. I just haven't had time. We hope mum and daughter have some mum and daughter time down there and have a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's Uncle Leigh up to?
Well, actually, I'm going to get a man in to fit my new cooker and put 2 cupboard doors on.
You can't do that yourself?
Can I? I've got a screwdriver or an hammer.
Hang on, you were talking all over Rach. Have a go, Rach.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
Rach.
yes, cupboards on, because if Robbie can see the food, he'll eat the food. So make sure it's all hidden away from the cupboard.
Ah, true. This is true. You can't put a cooker in. Is it a gas or electric cooker?
It's electric cooker. You only have to plug it in. It's not one of those with a special thing. You just have to plug it into the wall. But I don't see why I should do it. I'm a proper man.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree with Marie. Is he a man or a mouse?
Oh.
You can move me around the table if you wish.
Places, I guess. Your talents lie elsewhere, Uncle Leigh.
Say that again, darling. I can't hear you for some reason.
Your talents lie elsewhere.
They do. Some of them lie in Spain, some lie in America, and they're all over the place, my talents.
Mainly in his shoes.
Yeah.
So other than watching workmen work this weekend, are you doing anything productive by chance?
Absolutely, completely and utterly, 100% definitely not.
Well, the only thing you can do of any benefit then is impersonate the best impersonation I've ever heard of Sooty.
I forgot how to do it. Hang on, just a minute, let me get ready. Here we go. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
That was Postcard from Poprad for another week, boys and girls. We'll see you all again very, very soon. Thank you to everybody who's joined in and offered comment, because that's wonderful. That's what it should be. And if I missed you out, I'm sorry. It's just that I'm a man. I can only do one thing at a time. And the bear will shout at me as well, and everything will be horrible. And anyway, coming up next, we have the absolutely wonderful Steve Bishop Show here on Radio Tatras International, your station of the stars, because don't forget, it's your radio station.
From the heart of Europe to the world, this is RTI.